Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am so excited to be here with everybody. I'm just having a little bit difficulty with the LinkedIn. It's not working, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead anyway. I'm not sure why LinkedIn's doing that. I'm just going to see if it works just to make sure. Yeah, no, it doesn't like it. Today it doesn't like it. Okay, that's okay. It happens. That's what it's called, technology, right? It
Yes.
happens. Okay, welcome everyone and welcome MC. Nice to have you with me today. I'm excited to have a conversation with you about the topic.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited too.
So we really want to talk to the teachers, educators, right? So let
Yeah.
me ask you something. How many of you have been expected to stay calm, patient, and present when inside of you were feeling overwhelmed,
Mm,
right?
yes, that's a
even
big
as
one.
parents even as parents we do that, right? We are expected to stay calm, patient, and present even though inside of us we're feeling overwhelmed, and teachers live this every
Yes.
single day, right?
Yes.
So here's the truth that we don't say out loud. There's no way a teacher can regulate a classroom when they are dysregulated themselves. Do you agree, MC?
Totally. Totally. It makes such a big difference if you are versus you're not.
Yes.
And yeah, the students can feel it. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, absolutely. And yet, this is exactly what we're asking educators to do every single day. Every single day, they're doing this repeatedly and they're feeling it. And that's why they're saying we're burned out.
Hmm.
Take it anymore, right?
Yes.
So, today we're shifting this conversation from, a lot of the time teachers are overwhelmed these days because of the behaviors in the classroom, right?
I think it makes a big difference. Totally. I think that there's a lot of things, like if you look at the education world, and the lack thereof. And it's not that we don't have enough teachers, they're out there. They're just choosing that there's something that needs to give,
Yes,
right?
exactly. So
Hmm.
we're going to shift the conversation from looking at it from, oh, the kids are behaving, to readiness for that's what humans need, because we are a living system. We need to be in place of readiness before we can be with our students, be in the classroom, or help them regulate, right? But before all of that, and before we go into this conversation, I do want to bring myself and MC and those of you who are watching to here and now, because I don't know about you. How about you? Did you think about the past today, MC? Coach MC?
Yes, I did actually. Yes.
And they were good things, right? You were thinking about all the good things from the past, were you?
Yeah.
Was it good or bad? Or the
Uh,
worst?
you know what? It was a mix of both, actually. Yeah, a mix of both.
But it was that allowing you to be here, or were you just in the past a lot of time were wasted? Did you feel like a lot of time were dedicated to that?
Exactly. You're like your mind is somewhere else. You're not right here, right now, like we
Your
say.
body is here, but the mind is somewhere else. So it's
Yes.
okay to visit the past. It's okay to go and think about the good stuff, the bad stuff, or the ugly stuff. But the problem is it doesn't allow us to be here and now. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And then this is where we can talk about so many different things. This is where we procrastinate because we're so busy in the past, we can't do anything in the moment, so we procrastinate. And then
Hmm.
eventually we make that an identity and say, I must not be good at this, or I must be lazy, or whatever, right? We then categorize them, right? So what can we do with the past, MC? Should I just keep visiting and spend all my day and night into the past, or what should I do with
Oh,
it?
we can acknowledge it
Yes.
and thank it
Yes.
for the lessons
Yes. Pick up the
and,
lessons. Yep.
what it brought to us, where we are now.
Yeah.
But we also need to kind of like forget about it a bit so that
Yeah.
we can now, here and now.
Yeah, let's let it go. Let's just let it go because it's not serving you to be in the past and keep rewinding and watching and rereading the same chapter. Not worth it. So take the lessons and let it go. Now, the other side of it is the future. How many of you have been thinking about the future, especially when things are uncertain, when we're overwhelmed?
Yes.
When we're not liking what's happening in the classroom as a teacher, how much it's burning you out, and kids are not listening, and all of these things, especially
Mhm.
coming back after March break or spring break now, right? It's
Yeah.
different. Children had sometimes off, so they are coming differently, right? For the first week is the few days are hard, right? So was it today hard?
I'm gonna say a lot of the students were so happy to see each other after a few
Yeah.
days that the energy was really high.
Perfect.
Yes.
Was good energy. That's good. So if you're thinking the future, it's okay to think about the future, but it's not in our hands. So why
Mhm.
would we keep thinking about something that we don't have any control over? When we do that, and when we project the past and do that, what happens is that it becomes anxiety, because
Mhm.
I'm just in a state of thinking about what is going to go wrong, or what will happen, or if that happens, if this happens, right? So why don't we just bless it, because future is available to all of us. We can't create it, it's just available, it's going to come to us, the best of it, right? So why don't we just release it, bless it, release it, and just let it go too, because you don't need to plan anything right now, because we
Mhm.
have things to do here and now. So if you do that, you see the both hands are here, and when you bring it, this is almost magnetic, all
Yes.
forces come together. Now, here is where you can learn. As an adult, we're learning too, because we're always learning until it's our last day on this earth. You're going to be learning. You're learning
Yes.
one thing or the other. And you're also living your life, right? At the same time, you're leading yourself and others who you are responsible for. We're all also a leader, right? All of us are leaders for
Yes.
ourselves and others who we care. So therefore, all of these things, learning, living, and leading, can only happen if you're here. Try
Mhm.
to try being in the past and living, learning, and living and leading. Can you try? Is it possible? Yeah.
Very hard.
Well, there's nothing to do here other than rewind and watch the same story again and again. You can't really live. I mean, it's not living; it's just reliving it in our mind, right? So it's not possible. Future is the same way. So that's why this moment is so important. Can you bring yourself here and now? Now, what do you use more importantly to bring yourself here and now, MC?
For me, uh, taking the time to breathe, like
Okay. Do you have an
definitely.
exercise that certain number of counts? How do you breathe?
So, I like to do the breathe in for 4 and hold for 4 and breathe out for a good 6, if not 8. Because the breath out, if and when it's longer, it just calms you down.
Yes.
And the other one that I do, if I am in a very high mode, like anxious mode, is I will breathe in for 4, and at the end I do another inhale without exhaling, and then I hold, and it just tightens your vagus nerve in your core, and that makes a big difference too.
Okay, so let's do it. And it's okay. Somebody asked me, is counting so important? Not really. It's not that important, because it's not about how many counts it is. It's about you breathing. As long as you take a good breath in and hold it for a good number of whatever number that is, it doesn't
Hmm.
matter. There's no perfect way to do this. It's just how do you feel, right? It's about the feeling
It's the
more.
focus on the breath, right? You think about your
And,
breath.
yeah. And at the
Yeah.
end, if you're feeling great, that means it's worked.
Yes.
That's how you know it. That's why it's so powerful, because the results are right there. At
Yeah.
the end of it, you're gonna feel some relief, some relaxation, right? Okay, so let's do it. Which one are we doing? In for
Uh,
4, four, out for
do
6.
the let's do the little add on at the end
Okay.
because I
Can
don't
you
think
can
this
you
one.
lead us?
Yeah. So what you do is you breathe in for 4,
Mm-hmm.
and then you do another inhale, and then hold, And then breathe out. And I usually do 2 more rounds.
Okay,
So I
let's do it.
inhale
Inhale,
4 and one more shot.
shot, and hold,
And
and
then
relax,
breathe out.
and then let it go.
Yes.
Sorry, that was a bad joke. Okay, let's do it again.
One more time. Okay, so breathe in for 4. One more. Hold and out.
Let's do one more because it's not the one in the middle wasn't proper. One more.
Okay, one more. Inhale 4. One more. Hold and out.
Just let everything go because you don't need to carry anything. It doesn't
Exactly.
need to be in your body and it doesn't need to be anywhere in your body. Just feel it, let it go. We're good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I like that extra shot. Okay. Extra shot of air. Extra shot of air was good. I like it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about MC. I want to know what does a hard day feel like in your body at the end of it? This is for teachers. I want to talk to you as a teacher. What does a
Mm-hmm.
hard feel like in your body by the end of the day?
You know what? It's
That's it right there. That was it. You just breathed.
exactly. It's, like it's the tension in your shoulders and in your neck and the heaviness in your chest and then just the way that your brain will just not switch off. You're driving home and like it just continues, it goes on and on. So for me anyways, that's how a hard day, heavy day feels like. Definitely. Yeah. And
So what
then
do you do to turn it off? Like, do you just carry that home into the house too after driving? Continuous
um
into.
you know what, I listen to the radio, I listen to the music, I have my favorite station,
Mm,
and that's what I do. I focus on the music. I do have like a 20 minute drive to get back home, and that's just enough to for me to just like leave stuff and just visualize things leaving me, like the heaviness leaving me. And when I was teaching in town and I was only 1 kilometer away, so 5 minute drive at the most, that is the one thing I miss the most is my drive, 20 minutes going in and
mm,
20 minutes coming back home, just to have that time where it's just me in my car and my
yes,
music and
yes,
just,
just
reframe myself. Yeah.
yes. Yeah, that's really important. That car ride, I like the car ride too myself because it gives
Mhm.
you a sense of freedom, right? When you're driving the car,
Yeah.
the speed of it, if you're using a highway too, like it just gives you that, just so everything moving past you. It's not
Yeah.
like it's like it doesn't stall into your body, just like you're moving away from it and everything. So it
Yeah.
makes you feel, car rides are good. But
And
sometimes
noticing, snow's melting, and then eventually there's going to be buds in the trees and leaves coming, here in
yes,
Ontario. So
yeah.
yeah,
So have you ever felt like you are holding everyone else but no one is holding you as an educator?
definitely, and quite a few times actually. So
About that
yes,
feeling, because I think you're not alone. I think many educators are feeling empty and they are burned out and they're overwhelmed. So when you get to that feeling, what does it feel like inside of you when you know that you're holding everyone and no one's really holding you?
it's it's heavy. It's heavy because I think that we all need someone to actually genuinely ask, or and yeah, ask if you're okay. And I think that a lot of teachers or educators are not seeing this chance when somebody's how are you? And I think most people do it just like as a habit, but really like asking and stopping and pausing and looking at the person and asking, how are you? And as an educator, be able to be honest and say, I'm actually okay, or you know what, things are not the greatest. And that would mean a lot, because we do that with the students. We're there for them and we try to make the environment be as safe as possible, but it's almost like it's not reciprocated back to us.
Yes, because you're the adult, you have to hold everything together. You should,
Yeah,
you should know how to take care of yourself. Like we don't need to take care of you. But
exactly.
yes, but let's go back to this. Can a teacher be in that state and be a can they hold space for others while they're in that state? If they're
It's
feeling taken care of, they're feeling burned out, overwhelmed, can they hold space for those kids? Can they? Is that possible?
it's very hard. They probably look like they are,
Yeah, but
or
it's
but it's no, yeah, and or they like they make everybody around them believe like they are actually handling it, but deep down inside, no, you can't. It's very hard, and it's not really possible to hold a room for everybody around you if you're not regulated and they're not regulated either. How can you manage all that? It's quite something.
yes. I know yesterday I was talking to a teacher who's in our program now. She has anxiety for 25 years, right? She was sharing with me after the 8 weeks of the program. So she was giving me some testimonials. So she was talking to me about how she because that anxiety kept her, like she had that, she had to mask the anxiety. She learned how to overcompensate to
Mm,
hide the anxiety so that nobody knew that she had the anxiety. So she would work herself into sickness until she got to the sickness. She does not stop. Only time she ever stopped was when she got sick. Her
hmm.
body gave up. Finally, her body gave up and said, "No, you cannot work anymore like
No.
this."
And that's what happened to me like a few years ago, back in 2011, is that I was in a brand new program, and I was uh, teaching this brand new program for French. And at the same time, I was the only grade 5 teacher in the building. And so I had to start teaching math, which I've never done, and teaching all kinds of subjects that I have never taught. So it was just like, and I wanted to do it well and be there all the way through. And it was just like, go, go, go. And I would be at school until 6 o'clock every day, I think.
You were learning math, right? You were
Eventually,
learning to teach. Weren't you learning math to teach? Like if you're not a math teacher, you have to learn the
yeah,
content before you can teach it to the kids.
exactly. Yeah. And so I didn't take care of myself in that way, and I burnt out. Like it took me 6 months to get back on track.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's the thing. If we neglect, our body is not going to take it for so long. It's only going to do it for so long. So that's what
Mhm.
happened to her too. She completely had to take leave of absence from the school to
Yeah.
recover. Or maybe you did that too, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the teacher's regular job has become holding the space for everyone, but no one is holding for them, and that is true. That is true. That is why
Hmm.
most educators feel like that nobody's listening to us, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of time, these days, younger generations are coming in administrative roles. Younger administrators are coming, and some of these teachers are veteran teachers, right? Been in the education for 30 years, 25 years.
Hmm.
So when new people come in, they don't have the experience to know what works and what not, right? So they
Yeah.
implement so many new things. Sometimes that's not possible for a lot of these burned out teachers to hold on to these new ways of doing things. Yeah, we can experiment, but we also have, I mean, these teachers have experience.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's
And
overlooked too. So that there's also stress like that people are sharing with me, teachers.
mhm.
The
And we're being given, all kinds of tools and strategies and things like that during PD days, but it's all nice, and it can be useful, but that's not going to be the solution, unfortunately. Like, you can apply, it's like putting a band-aid on something that will never heal. So you have to take care of the wound first, and then you can start applying all kinds of stuff on it. Yeah.
So, how much behavior do you deal with? You're working at a high school, right? You're a high school teacher, right?
Hmm.
How much behavior do you see in the high school level?
Quite a bit, actually. A lot. There's a lot of issues with attention span. I think that, and I know you had a conversation about, electronics, right?
Yes.
The online, the TikTok, and all that stuff, and the constant hit of dopamine. And so their brain are being reshaped in a way that when they come to class, well, they're not ready. They don't have the readiness. And then after, if their brain is used to having this shot of dopamine every 2 minutes or something like that, and they're not getting it, then that's when you start to see like the whole shift happening. And it's really, really hard to bring them back on track, even if
Mm.
they don't have their phone on them or with them. They're still like expecting something to come up, like their brain is, right? And so as a teacher is like, how do you deal with that? What do you do so that you can kind of provide something but not a dopamine shot? And it's so then you see the attentiveness just shifts, and then instead of getting on task, some of them will just sit there and just wait. I don't know for what, but they'll wait for something to start. I guess just like the
It's
case.
not seldom initiated. You have somebody needs to initiate the
Yeah.
start.
And then and on the other hand, you also have a lot of issues with things that are going on outside of school that you don't have any control on, or over, but like they will come up in class, and right off the bat they're not ready, and you don't know what happened. And in all honesty, our day is so busy, and we have all these other students in front of us, that it makes it really hard to be able to say, oh, you notice, first of all, you notice that there's something going on, but then you have all the other 29 students that are also there. And unfortunately, it's, we're being asked to look at the safety of the students and look into the behavior as a signal, which is good, but where is the time where we can actually pause everything to look into that and gauge what's going on? So that's hard.
The signal part is part of our program. Your school doesn't teach you that, right? As a teachers, they don't get to look at it as signal or communication. They look at it as behavior, right? That's it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just want to clear that. Yeah, at school, everybody talks about this is the behavior, this is the behavior, but really, behavior is a communication. Behavior is a system. Our systems telling us an SOS signal that
Mhm.
there's something going on here, right? So, what happens inside a student when they? So, no, what happens inside an educator, inside them, when a student escalates?
So, you know what? I think that we all come into this profession with like a high care for others. But we also come into this profession with our own baggage.
Yes,
And so,
we all
so
have a baggage, at
yeah,
least one or two,
right?
right? Yes.
And so, unfortunately, you as a teacher can come into the class and you're regulated at that point, and then something will escalate, and then it will automatically brings you in dysregulation, because depending on what's going on, it might bring you back to a moment in your childhood as a student where you didn't feel safe, you didn't feel heard, you were, put aside, pushed away. So your own emotions are resurging from the past, and so it makes it really hard to re-regulate yourself or try to deal with a student who is dysregulated and their behavior, when all of a sudden you went from regulated to way up here. So, and I don't
They're
think,
serving from empty cup, right? They're also,
yeah.
because the teacher is serving from, there's no capacity for them to, when someone is escalating, there's no capacity. They're at the edge too. They're at the edge too,
Mm,
as the student are at the edge of escalation.
yeah.
Teacher can as well, but unfortunately they don't do it. They had to. They always deal with it.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, and and I think most teachers are trying to hold it together as long as they can. And then if it keeps going and going, that's where you will see some teachers will snap. They will raise the volume. They will say, okay, you know what? Out of the class, go to the office or go to a different room to work. And, so yeah, it's very hard. We all have systems, and it's hard when there's so many different people in a room that
So
can.
I'm gonna play the other side, MC. And then
Mhm.
I'm gonna say, like, somebody might be watching, they're saying, you know what, all jobs are hard. Teachers' jobs are not just hard. A lot of people say, and and also teachers get summer holidays, winter holidays, spring holidays. You guys have the most holidays, and you keep complaining that you're burned out. But as a engineer or somebody else working, we don't get any of that, and we're fine. What would
Mhm.
you say to them? And I'm playing the other side right now. I know this situation, but just want to play it. What would you say to that, so they can understand what teachers do, right? How many things do you do in a day?
Well, and that's the thing, is we have to wear so many different hats. It's one. I think that a lot of people think that we go in and we teach our lesson and that's it.
And then
Um,
coffee break, and then go for another lesson, and then go for lunch, and then go for another lesson, and go for afternoon tea, and then you're home. I mean,
yeah,
it seems very easy. I mean,
yeah.
that's it.
But on the flip side, it's like, no, we have to sometimes, the computer doesn't work, and you have to spin on a dime and figure out a different lesson plan because everything's on computer and the Wi-Fi decided to shut down. You have, a student who is in super anxious mode. You have another student who's really, really sad. You have another student who just came back from recess and they got hurt. And then so you have it's this constant hit. And when you go, okay, everything is working well, everything's going well in the class today, there's always something that's gonna, you'll get a phone call and it will interrupt your lesson. There are so many different hats that we have to wear, and it is exhausting. It is exhausting because a lot of the students are coming to us as the safe space, as a safe, every day they see us for so many hours, and we're kind of like their safety net that they don't necessarily get when they are on the bus, when they are on the schoolyard, when they are at home, even. There are so many factors, and I tell you, the social media and the way that the games that the students are playing on the phone and the way that they are programmed by like engineers to control the brains of the students, of the children, to get them hooked and addicted to it. It's definitely not the same, and you're dealing with all kinds of different bodies and systems around you on the regular, on the, like so many hours a day. instead of, I'm sure a job in a cubicle is really hard, and there's some responsibilities, and there could be like big responsibilities, uh, but you don't have to deal with so many different personalities and systems.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what about people saying that? Can we just explain that to them, that how teachers don't just go in because we have so many different types of kids, different stages. They're not all in the same state to
Mhm.
learn, right? Stages, they come in different ways. Maybe some of them didn't get sleep, some of them been on their phone, some of them had a bad experience at home, some of them lives in a bad environment at home, like
Mhm.
myself when I was young, right? Didn't have a good household. Like all of these things are variables, right, affecting these children. So when we come, I can't just have my lesson out as a teacher and just go, let's go people, let's
Yeah.
go, we're going to go now, all 26 of you come with me, let's learn. And why can't you
Mhm.
focus, let's focus and get work done. So other professions don't deal with young people like that many in their jobs.
Yeah.
They don't have. The other
Yeah.
only place I can think of is prison. The prison guard might have a lot of prisoners, right? Other than that, where do people have so many people they have to take care of, that needs that care, like a hospital? But then
Yes.
there the nurses have individual patients, right? As many, I mean, I know they're burned out too. I know nurses are
Mhm.
burned out too, but at least that's kind of, they can't take 26 of them at the same time. But here a teacher is the only person who's actually taking 26, or professors are the ones who have so
Mm.
many kids at the same time, or
Yeah.
students.
There was
But
quite a few years where in my day I would see between 150 and 200 students in each day, by
that's
going by being the French teacher and going to 7 8 different classrooms and having a group of students for 30 minutes, and then, okay, move on, go to the next class, and then another group of 25 whatever students, and just like different, different dynamics, right? It
every
was.
child is different. I mean, we have a generalized system, we have a
Mm.
standardization, but humans are not standardized. They're individual people. They don't
Yeah, it's
come
different.
ready at the same time.
Having to deal with a computer that you're working at, depending on, like your type of work, and dealing with things that are not working well on the computer versus dealing with human bodies with, emotions, sometimes really big emotions, and or sometimes just shutting down completely, and having the electronics to play a game in there too. So, but it's this constant need of being able to spin on a dime and shift things at the split second and go, yeah, nope, forget about this today. Yeah.
And then you have the curriculum policing you too, around all of this. And then the teachers have, educators have this curriculum clouding upon their head, like, I got to finish the curriculum, I have to get to the grading, I have to get to the testing, I have to produce the report card, right? That's also there. So you can't
Yeah.
just say, oh, these kids are dysregulated, I'm kind of feeling overwhelmed, let's just slow down, and today we're going to really,
Hmm.
let ourselves breathe and come here and come, I'm going to come home to myself, let some of these kids kind of, relax here, so that we can all come to the same regulated synced nervous system. We don't have that because the curriculum is telling you go,
Yeah.
so we got to
Yeah.
go.
If you're teaching, like right now, I'm teaching a class where there is the same class, the same course being taught in English, and then students will compare, where are you at? Where here? Where are you at? And I always say to students, but it's a different dynamic as a class. We're doing it in French, they're doing it in their mother tongue in English. So right off the bat, there's a big difference in what's going on. So yeah.
Let's talk about another part of teachers' life that people don't mention, but some teachers always share, that you never even have time to go to your bio breaks.
Yes. Yeah.
Through all day long.
It was, yeah, it was kind of nice, yeah, during the spring break to say, hey, I can eat food when I'm hungry. I can, do this, go to the washroom when I need to, not when I have 5 minutes that I have to go. And so, yeah, there's your day is so
Packed.
packed, yes, and like regimented. There's only so many times that you can do something, and you have your lunchtime, and but at the last minute a student shows up in your class and is asking you questions because they have full-blown anxiety because there's a test after the lunch break and they're in a panic mode. So all of a sudden lunch is put aside, and take care of the person in front of you. Hmm.
Yes. So can we expect somebody who's like this, overwhelmed, even not even going to the bathroom sometime, they have to hold their, bio break situation as well, and sometimes hunger and sometimes all these feelings. Of course, these teachers have families too, right? They have life at home. That
Yeah.
could be also rough.
Yeah.
Can a person like that, as a teacher, regulate other people in front of them who are displaying behaviors and who are dysregulated? Can they do it? Is it easy to do it?
It's very hard.
Yeah.
Like, if they do it, it's because they've somehow managed to put some strategies on their own to regulate themselves, or got a chance to have somebody come in their class so that they can go have a bio break. But it's almost not feasible. It's very hard, very hard.
So some people say, teachers like to complain. They're always like saying this or that. So today, I really want all of you who are watching and will watch to give some thought about what teachers are going through. It's not easy because
Mm-mm.
26, 30 people dysregulated and at different stages and states of
Mm-hmm.
of learning. We have to push the content is not easy to do. So it is not that they're complaining, it is that they're saying what the reality is of the classroom. And the reality of the classroom has changed significantly. It's changing significantly because our
Yes.
children don't want to learn because they don't see the purpose of learning some of the stuff we have been teaching since 100, 200 years old stuff.
Mhm. Yeah.
They're like, we have way better systems now. We are so smarter than we were then. Why are we still doing the same thing? When am I going to use it? And why would I want to learn this? And they don't see the purpose.
Hmm. Mostly
So,
when they have so much, if they want to, they have so much information at the tip of their fingers. They want to know about something, they just put it in the search box and they get the info.
yes.
And they also, the unfortunate part is that with the social media that they're on, they see young adults that are only a few years older than them, who are on social media. They're being influencers and they're being paid for what they're doing at 21, 22, and they're thinking, well, that's what I'm going to do. I don't need to go to school. I can make my living like this person. And so it just flicks the whole reality is very different. And I think that a lot of the parents kind of got a glimpse into what teaching is when we all went home for COVID, and all of a sudden for whatever months, they had two children to try to have at the table, engage with a teacher through a computer, and they couldn't manage. I had so many adults that said, how do you do it with 20 something bodies in front of you? I couldn't do it with two.
Yes.
So things have changed a lot since COVID. But I'm gonna say even before, I started to see a difference in the behavior of students and the readiness of students, not too far after 2012, when the the iPods came out and there were games on them, and iPads, and the price dropped and it was more available for families to purchase. Smartphones were more available. So that 2012 to 2015, I'm going to say I've seen a difference even at that point.
Yes.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah, phone is a big distraction and dysregulator as well, because it changes the state of a person, right? Because I look at a phone, it's there's something there, and if it upsets me, I'm upset now. I wasn't upset 2 minutes ago, but now that I looked at my phone, I'm upset.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So it can change us. And then I look at something else 2 minutes later, I'm not happy because
No.
I'm looking at something funny. And then I
Hmm.
go to another thing, it makes me sad, or I don't see anybody putting hearts and comments on my post. Now I'm like, oh, nobody likes me. Or somebody says something about my mouth or my nose, because a lot of people bully people online as well. And then I'm sad and I'm just destroyed. So
Yeah.
all of this is happening like this, right? Like
Yes.
every seconds, it's like this and this and this and this. So it's like constant,
Total roller coaster.
too much for their brains to handle. So then that's why we have so teachers who are working in the classroom, MC, who are dealing with their own dysregulation. How can they help themselves? Because the first thing is to help them, right? Not help the. It's like putting the oxygen mask on in the airplane.
Yes,
You help
definitely.
yourself. Yeah.
And it's the same with the parents. Is it's one of those where you cannot be good, or you cannot be there for the people that are around you, that it is students, children, if you're a parent, if you yourself are not there. So, like you said, the analogy of the airplane mask, that goes for teachers as well. We need to make sure that we do take the time to look after ourselves, that we put some self care, that if we have marking to do, that at one point you say, okay, it's whatever time in the night and I'm not done, but that's it. I need to shut it down. I need to shut it down, and I'll come back to it the next day, because there's a limit as to how much you can give. And like you said, you can't pour out of an empty cup. So you have to refill that cup. So I think that I know our school board, our school district, has brought a lot, or has been doing more things to be aware of educators' well-being. And as a school, sorry, we had to um, brainstorm some ideas of how or what we could do as a staff to just get out of the teacher mode and do something else. And uh, so, like, somebody started a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, that's the
And
hard part for teachers
it
to get
is,
it, because there's too much thinking going on. They can't stop
yeah.
thinking.
And the thing too is that we spend our day giving. We give, that it's all, I don't know, for me, for a while, it's like I felt so selfish to say, no, they're going to wait another day before they get their test back. And, I'm okay with it now. But at one point it was like, I felt selfish to say no to things, and I can't participate in that, or I can't put any more hours after school. I need to disconnect.
Yes. Yep. And lots of things you can do as rituals, right? One way is to wash your hand at the end of your work and leave everything at school and wash away everything before you leave. In the
Hmm.
car, we talked about some strategies about that, is to think away from the schoolwork as you're driving away. Just drop everything and start thinking about your family and you as well, right? Think about you. What do you need? Because it's not selfish. Self care is not selfish.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
mandatory. It's mandatory. And it's self love. You need to love yourself. You can't just
Mhm.
give and give, and there's
Yeah.
nothing else to give. So stop giving and fill your cup. And how does your cup get filled? I don't, maybe some of you forgot how your cup even gets filled because you gave so much and you've never filled your cup for a while. You've probably forgot. So maybe you have to stay with it and figure out what fills my heart, because that's
Yes.
why our program doesn't even begin. Like a lot of people come to us to build a business, we don't start building the business because most educators are not home.
No.
They don't even know who they are anymore.
Mm, true.
Lost them to the point where they don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
So you need to come home to yourself, and that's not selfish, that's not rejecting your students. You're going to give more by actually taking care of yourself. You can give
Yeah.
more when you do actually look after yourself. So that's the most important thing, is to set up what fills you. So what are some of the things that beside driving that fills you, MC?
So, I like, you know what? I like dancing.
Nice.
That is one of the things where, it's put the music and I'll just stay in my kitchen and, sometimes I'll clean or whatever, but, just I will sing along and I will dance, and all of a sudden a lot of the songs will bring me back to some memories of a concert or something, and all of a sudden it's like I forget about everything that, yeah. So yeah,
Songs
dancing.
that anchoring. It can anchor you. It anchors you when you had good times, so you can remember
Hmm.
them.
Yeah, and for some people, it could be, getting yourself lost in reading and painting, crafting, going for a walk. There's so many different ways, but I think that at one point you just forget what has been filling up your cup, and you need to just take a moment, pause, and get back to, okay, just take a moment to think about it.
Yes.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, what will fill me. And also, like, you have to really look at it from the perspective is it's not working for you, right? I mean, if
Mhm.
you're feeling good, it's fine, but you're not feeling good. So
Yeah.
therefore, number one thing is to make yourself feel good. And that's nothing to do with selfish. That just makes
Hmm.
sense, that
Hmm.
when you are able to have all the energy, all the fulfillment, then you can give to others. So that's why it's important. Yeah, so notice what's missing, notice
Yes.
what you have given up, notice what you have forgotten, notice who you used to be
Hmm.
before you became this person that you don't even know, because a lot of teachers tell me they don't know who they are anymore.
No. Yes, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And also, a lot of you have attached your identity to your work.
Yeah.
I'm a teacher, I have to be this way. And I would
Hmm.
question that statement. Do you have to be that way, or did you make it that way? Like, who
Yes.
told you to be that way, right? Like, these are like, boundaries are good. Every work has boundaries.
Yeah.
Only the teacher who thinks they can't set a boundary, right?
Hmm.
So why do we
Exactly.
have a lot of teachers burned out? Because they're not setting boundaries for themselves.
Hmm. Yeah. And there's a lot of people that if you do set some boundaries, you will have some people that will make you feel bad about it. Well, what do you mean you can't answer my email as a parent at 8 o'clock tonight? Well, there's a limit, you know. So email is one of those where it's no people don't they don't wait. They
Yes.
just assume that you're always on
Don't you
20s.
sleep at school? Don't you have your don't you guys stay at home? Also go school all the time, the teachers. Don't you stay at school?
It's like, what do you mean?
No,
What do you
you
mean you're going home at? Yes.
Yeah, I think it's the panic from their parents, right? We talk to parents about this too, right? Because they're panicking. Their nervous system is off now. Their systems are off. So they're going, I need help, I need help. So they forget that you are a human as a teacher. And
Hmm.
they forget that then they just think you're teaching. So teach, help us, help me, right? Because they're also lost. They're not home. A lot of parents are not home either. They
Yes.
don't do it. No one does it to hurt anyone. It's just that when we're in certain state, we don't know what we're
Mm,
doing, what we're
no.
demanding from the other person, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And
It's
that's what teachers
where
have
our
to
needs
be.
are so high that we can't even process thinking about the other person and what they need. So,
Yeah. And that's what's why important to take yourself out of the at the end of the day, take yourself out of the classroom. Like don't take classroom with you home.
hmm,
Detach. Like there should be two lives: inside the classroom, outside the classroom, right?
yeah.
Outside schools, right? So for
Hmm.
teachers it's important to separate them because a lot of teachers are I talk to more than sometimes 50, 60 people a week, and they said tell me that their work days are like 80, 70 hours sometimes.
Yes.
Yes.
That's, yeah, that's my usual 50 something hours a week, 60. Yeah.
Yeah. So anything else you want to add to this topic that we're talking about teachers and burnout? And if you're dysregulated, it's no way that you can regulate other people, and
No.
no way that you can regulate all 26 of them or 30 of them in front of you. So
Hmm.
there's lots to.
Yeah, and I think that um, I think there is a start to a shift coming from the districts and the administrations where they start to see that teachers are falling like flies.
Yes.
And it's like, what is going on? And I think it's starting that they're realizing that you
You have
need.
to notice. You
What's
have
that?
to you have to notice when there's no that there's a shortage of teachers coming in
Yeah.
and there's nobody sticking around, like they're not staying anymore, they're leaving, so there is a problem. And that's the exact thing that I'm saying about also education too. Our students don't want education.
Mm,
So I don't know if you remember, I shared the story always. It's like you have a store, if you're a store owner, you have a small store and you're buying merchandise to fill that store every single day. You're like buying all these things because you think it's the right thing to have, but
mhm,
the customers are coming and they're not buying anything.
mhm,
They're just coming and touching and making a mess, but they're not buying it. So
mm,
will you continue to stock your store if no one's buying anything? Or
ex
as a business owner, will you go, oh, there's something wrong here, should we fix this?
yeah,
Right? So
exactly.
the education, the customers are our students.
Mhm,
Our customers are our students. They're coming to school and they're not buying the education we're selling.
no,
So should the owners and the participants of that company look at it and say, we have a problem. It's
yeah,
not the teachers. For sure, it's not the teachers, because usually it comes down to you're not doing your job good. You better do more, right? But
yeah,
it's not the teachers. It's beyond that now. We can't use
mhm,
that excuse anymore either. It's not teachers anymore. So what is it? So do we want to look at it? Because I just love asking questions, you know that. So that's why I'm asking so many right now. Should
yeah,
we look at it from another perspective that kids are not buying the education? So do we have a problem at hand? Yes, we do.
mhm,
So what do we do about it?
mhm, yeah. Because the other thing too is that if you're looking at the education system as it is now, it hasn't changed for a couple hundreds of years ago. Like
Yeah.
it's been set up like that for the industrialization. And now most of that is robotics. And now we have, like AI and everything. So there is and there has to be a shift there in how we do things, and the way we teach, the way we engage, the way we look after the students, because it's not working in 2026. We're not back in the 1900s, early 1900s, if not even before that. So there is a shift that needs to happen, definitely.
Yeah, and it's coming. It has to, right?
Hmm.
So if there's anything that you're going to take away today is this: you don't need to manage the behaviors of your student. and find better strategies to manage them, because you need to regulate the room. In order to regulate that room, the adult systems has to stabilize, which is your systems, right?
Mm-hmm.
Only when your system is stabilized, then you can then help the other people in your room to regulate, and
Mm-hmm.
then everything else after that will follow and fall into its place. Until you're not regulated, forget about it. It's
Mm-hmm.
just too much for you, right? It's what's happening to teachers. That's why they can't sustain it anymore, because they've done
No.
it too long.
Mm-hmm.
Way overdue, right, for them as well. So stabilization, your system needs to stabilize, and same for parents too. This goes to parents, it goes to every adult,
Yeah.
because you're not regulated, you cannot output. Your output is not going to happen.
Yeah. And if you come in the classroom and you're stressed beyond belief and you're anxious as well, like students, you don't need to say anything, they will feel it
Yes.
and they will react to it.
Yeah,
So,
because it's low energy, so it's going to
yeah.
transfer. It will transfer. So if this conversation resonated with you, do some of the things that we suggested. Try it out. There's no one way right way to do anything, right? Try some of these things to as rituals to cleanse yourself, release some of those energies that you're carrying from school, and also know that if you must be regulated at all cost, right? It has to be you first. That's why whenever somebody comes and says, I want to be a better teacher, what strategies can you help me with? I say nothing. I don't have any strategies to help you with your students, but I can help you first come home to yourself.
Yes.
Like meaning come home here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From that place, then we'll figure out how strategies can be implemented afterwards. But then the students have to come home to themselves too.
Yeah.
Strategies don't come in until way later, because until each party is in their own home,
Yeah.
what is strategy going to do? It's forced onto them. So they're not going to be interested in using any of that, right?
Exactly.
Yes. So all starts with what? It all starts with awareness.
Yes.
It all starts with awareness. Notice, as I said, notice how
Yes.
much you have changed. Notice what you have given up. Notice who you have become. Notice who used to be. And then ask questions.
Yeah.
What happened? What is happening?
Taking a
And how long?
pause.
Yeah. And how long am I going to let this happen?
Mm-hmm.
How long
Yeah.
am I going to
Don't
let it?
wait till you crash and you physically cannot function, because at that point it's really hard to come back. It's
Yes.
you do it, but it's hard.
Yes.
Hmm.
So start with awareness, start noticing anything and everything, and
Yeah.
take care of yourself. Thank you for your service. Nobody says that to teachers. I always say whenever I meet them is thank you for your service, because it is a service from the heart. I don't think a lot of people appreciate teachers as how much they put in.
Hmm.
So they take care of other people's kids as their own kids.
Hmm.
They serve from the heart.
Yeah.
And there are some teachers, of course, in every place. There's could be some that don't, but the majority of the teachers are amazing and they want to help, but then they get stuck in their own system, and
Hmm.
then they're not regulated to help others. So
Yeah.
that's the first thing you need to do, is come home to yourself. So thank you so much. If you have any comments, let us know. Coach MC can coach anybody. She's she can work with adults. Our program is universal, so it actually works with anybody and everybody and any label. Like, we don't separate anything here. We are holistic success coach, so we do everything holistically so that you can have amazing results fast. So if you're someone who thinks like you can use Readiness OS to get yourself ready, reach out to us, reach out to Coach MC. Thank you so much, Coach MC, for being here with me and having a great
Oh,
conversation.
well, thank you for having me participate in the conversation.
Thank you. Amazing. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow.
Parfait. Bye bye. Merci.